I'm glad to see you here because it tells me a little bit that you are actually interested in learning how to scale in 2024 using AI and conversational AI to be more specific. So welcome here. In today's video, we're going to basically talk a little bit about the strategies that I'm going to use inside of my business to help my clients scale, make more with less, save resources, etc. And all of that in a way that is super scalable, and I know for sure that it's gonna be a big thing there. To kick things off, let's take a look back on 2023, which was an insanely crazy year if it comes to AI stuff, because we got a jungle of new AI tools coming that is on one hand a very good thing, because you can see the market is moving, the market is evolving, you can try different software, you can try new things to see if they work for your business processes. But on the other hand, too many tools bring a bigger problem with along, which is the paralysis of choice. So if you have too many tools available, you don't know which one to actually use for your software, because they all have different and little nuances. From this one you may be like this, from that one you may be like that. But in the end it boils down to from which one you can use the most kind of tools to get the most out of it, so that your business grows to a maximum efficiency without you putting in a lot of manual work. And this is where most of those tools come in, right? It's all in the NoCode/low-code solution space, which is amazing. It's very, very hard kind of to grasp where to exactly get started. And I think this is a big opportunity for next year, which is going to come, because we will see a big switch in a couple of tools, implementing a lot of those currently separate features into one big platform, so that kind of we can use them bundled up in a way without worrying about connecting different APIs together, making things work in an even more complex way. So this is something we'll definitely see, and I'm super excited for that in the first place. For those who are new here and don't know me, I'm Yannis Moore. I run my own AI business that basically helps people to create custom chatbots. We consult people to teach them how they can implement AI and automation into their business to make more sales, to create more leads, to save more resources, time, eliminate human errors, you name it. All of that done in a very optimized and special way due to my experience of running software products for over 7 years. So my software products have basically helped more than 20,000 customers around the world to save over 1 million hours of manual work every year. And it's growing, it's continuing to grow. And this is kind of my mission, to basically help people to make more with AI, understand it and implement it into their business. So in case it's interesting for you, definitely reach out to us. In this video, I'm going to cover a total of 3 main strategies that I'm gonna use to scale my business in 2024, along with a bonus at the very end that a lot of you will be very excited about, because it's a more larger scale project of mine that I'm kind of working on. So definitely stay tuned. It is something very interesting, something that the market currently doesn't know that much if it comes to YouTube. So I did a lot of research with that. My team did a lot of research as well. We are currently experimenting with it. So definitely stay tuned until the end. It's gonna be worth it. First up, let's dive into the world of NoCode/low-code solutions, which comes handy if you are a beginner or a small to medium-sized company. Especially from you, it's gonna be very interesting to implement those kind of services, which also contain things like VoiceFlow or BotPress or Zapier or Make.com, to kind of create automation services in your niche for your business wherever you want, to kind of just optimize things, to scale them up in a certain way so that you don't need to do the work manually. And I'm specifically recommending those kind of low-code/no-code tools for you, because in the beginning it is more important that you actually get something out on the market that helps you to kind of create more leads, to enhance those leads, to validate them, to do internal optimization, whatever it is that you can do with AI in sense of saving time or making money. Because in the end, it is just about the thing to have a structure in place. So let's say, for example, you're a real estate agency and you have a chatbot. It makes a lot of more sense to neglect the fact that you have a backend behind it that you might have to switch in case there's something not available. But it's still better to actually get it out, have something on your website, and gather data from the people that are interacting with it. Because if you have a platform outside, let's say with VoiceFlow, and VoiceFlow isn't really the best if it comes to something like human takeovers, then you still can get all of that information that people ask within the chatbot. So you can get insights to what actually their needs are, what they're actually asking. And based on that information, we can train AI to understand your business better, to kind of guide where the whole thing is going to. And in the end, if you have enough details from that specific clients or users that interact with the chatbot, we can kind of create a solution that is more targeted towards that. So that whole no-code/low-code space is gonna be very big in 2024, and it's something we are focusing on for our smaller to medium-sized companies. And with that out of the way, let's move over to the second part, which is streamlining the business processes using AI and automation. And this is also going to be a big one. So there is a thing called process mining, which basically is a way of identifying manual processes and finding a way how you can optimize and automate them so that you or your employees or workers, whoever it is, need to do less while making more. So it basically just identifies ways where you really spend a lot of repetitive time or a lot of time on a single task in particular that you can literally just kind of automate through one way or the other. And what I realized over the past couple of years is that people don't really see where they can kind of implement AI or automation into their business, because they either don't know that there's actually something that you can connect to it, or that it's way too overwhelming for them, or thirdly, because they don't even know that you can connect things in the first place. So there are a couple of ways that keep businesses from really implementing those things, and we are basically just helping them to streamline, to find those kind of processes so that we can kind of optimize them for our clients and help them to, like I say, do more with less. The good thing for that strategy is that any kind of business can implement it into their workflows, and that means as well smaller companies. And for smaller companies, I specifically mean a lot of more repetitive tasks that haven't been automated in the first place. So if you're a very small business and you do a repetitive task by adding things to an email list or adding things to a Google Sheet, you can often kind of automate those steps so that you don't need to do them manually, which saves you tons of time. And see it from the other way around. Let's say we're talking to enterprises. Enterprises often already have processes automated. The difference is there it's more about efficiency, right? So you don't want to kind of recreate their whole workflows because they already rely on that. But what you can do is to make them more efficient. And we're talking about huge numbers if it comes to savings, but very small numbers if it comes to the single task. So let's say they do something repetitively in a large company where thousands of employees do the same thing thousands of times a day, it accumulates, right? So if you can save them, let's say 2, 3, 5, 10 seconds, 15 seconds out of their workflow, thanks to automation, you're already saving them tons of money and tons of resources on the long term that they can again reuse for other things and just repurpose them to make their employees more efficient. So there are tons of ways that really makes a lot of sense to kind of go into the process mining for any kind of companies. And this is specifically what we focus on, to kind of try to get a grasp of all the manual workflows that work inside the company by analyzing what the employees do, or by analyzing the already existing automations or workflows are in place and trying to optimize them from there. Another pivotal area is the third one from my list, which is helping businesses to understand AI and automation so that they can implement it into their business without us being the actual ones who implement it. So we basically training certain employees, certain groups of people on how they can leverage AI for themselves. And this doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be a technical person that knows how to code. The only thing they need is to have a bit of a technical understanding, to know how a browser works. So in the sense of, you can type in a URL, you can visit a site, you can get information when you open a URL and these kind of things. Because that is basically the minimum things you need to actually understand automations. And I'm always trying to teach people, you don't need to be a coder to understand AI and automations, because coding and these automations are a completely different thing. They are not necessarily connected, but you can connect them in a certain way. But it is more important that you get the grasp on how things communicate within the internet so that you can kind of make them communicate to your advantage. And this is basically the part of what I'm using as a third scaling strategy, which is just to help those kind of clients or companies to understand AI better, teach it to their employees, or their employees are taught by us in a way that they can implement it into their businesses. They can identify workflows, they can identify manual processes, they can identify where to save time, where to reduce human error, and those kind of things. So this is a massive point for us for 2024, where we are seeing tons of potential and where we want to guide our clients to make more with less. And with that said, it also brings me to another very interesting point, because if you have seen my previous videos, you already know that I do a lot with chatbots and conversational AI, where we basically help you guys or any kind of other employees or companies get predefined templates that they can kind of include into their business and customize things in a way that is just super easy, so that they can again use workflows that they didn't build themselves, and they can just kind of like copy paste it and save automatically time and resources with that. But now we are kind of extending that, because for 2024, I'm making sure we are going to add an automation course for beginners that teaches everything around how people can use AI and automation to actually automate their workflows in the first place. And like I've already done on my YouTube channel, there are kind of tutorials that give you a better understanding of what a JSON construct is, what the difference is between webhooks and API, and in case you don't know what API is, what that actually is in the first place. So all of that course will basically be guided towards beginners in the first place, so that we can give you guys a basic understanding of that whole realms of automation and AI, so that you can use that as a knowledge to make your business grow, to make your workflows better if you're an employee, to just get more efficiency into your daily workflows without you doing all of the manual work anymore. And that already brings us to my last point, which is the extra bonus that I added at the end, which focuses on enterprise to large scale clients. And this is going to be a huge one because it's currently not that much discussed on the market. It is a very, very important topic if it comes to security, etc. Because if you have worked with other chatbot services like VoiceFlow or BotPress before, or now even the Assistant API of OpenAI, it can be very hard to control if it comes to consistency and security, because you can kind of trick around with certain prompts to make it do other things that you would not like. And there are certain platforms that allow you to kind of revamp that or kind of control it in a certain way, even while using NLU, so natural language understanding. And one amazing conversational AI tool that does that is called Rasa. I'm also putting the link down below in the description. What that is, it's basically kind of a software that allows you to build super, super powerful conversational AI chatbots. In a way, they are so flexible with predefined solutions that you don't fully need to code, but you need to follow a different structure that they kind of predefine that allows you to create something like a story. And a story is basically a possible scenario of a conversation from a user that your chatbot will have access or will talk to. So it is not that it's completely natural and the AI is the only one that actually responds to it based on history or whatsoever, but it's more of a guideline where you already need to predefine a conversation, a possible conversation, and you can do this with thousands of different examples, and you basically train their LLM on it to kind of get a understanding of that whole structure of that whole chat that's happening, and tons of other things like rules that you add there, and kind of create a workflow out of it that is basically predefined, even though it looks like you're actually talking with a human in a certain way. So that is on the one hand limiting, because obviously you need to have that kind of stories predefined, so that kind of conversations predefined in a certain way. But on the other hand, it helps you to get all of those little geniuses out that try to mess around with your chatbots on your website by typing in some weird prompts that do things that are not supposed to do. So it is a super, super powerful way, and it is something that massive enterprises are looking into. And I'm really meaning massive. There are tons of tools that I could name now that are built on it, but it's gonna be a secret for now which ones I know from, at least, because it's gonna be very surprising. But I might make a video about that in the future in case you're interested. Rasa is definitely something to check out because it gives you full control over whatever the chatbot is able to, while not neglecting the fact that you can actually create completely custom conversations that are still tailored using AI to give you a certain output, but it is just limited in its own way that it provides security for larger scale enterprises, create chatbots that are more secure, that make them feel understood and also more safe as well against other legal obligations, so that you can kind of access to massive projects in the finance industry, in probably even like the construction industry and those kind of things, to implement massive chatbots that help their kind of people or internal clients to do more with less. This whole thing is a whole nother topic, obviously, because there's tons of stuff to it, how to configure it, and the YouTube tutorials about that are definitely not clear yet. So in case you would like to see more about that, let me know, and I'm very, very happy to share more insights along the journey while we are building those kind of bots, because I believe this is something that's gonna really rock a lot in the next couple of years, as people will start implementing those kind of tools more and more, as they are just more reliable and more secure in a certain way. To sum it up again, those are the strategies that I'm going to use in 2024 to help our customers make more with less. And you definitely should jump on the train if you want to, and definitely subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to post a lot more content like that, exactly on the things we are working on, where I see potential, what we are doing for our clients. In case you are interested in doing something with us, you can always drop us a message down below. Are you doing anything inside of your business already? And if so, what? Feel free to drop it down below in the comments. I'm very excited to read about it, and we have tons of new stuff in the pipeline that's going to come up, so definitely stay curious. It's going to be very, very interesting.